Is this the start of a Civ 7 comeback? Let's talk about some of the huge updates planned for June 17th, and more interestingly, one of the biggest and most exciting indications we've had about the future and direction of the game. Especially if you're one of these people that long for Civ 7 to return to its traditional sandbox feel, you are not going to want to miss these updates, and you're definitely going to have an opinion on them. I'm Alex, I'm a grumpy Yorkshireman who uploads Civ videos like this every single week. Let's talk about this one. Now, some of the improvements coming in this next update, I will agree should have been in Civ 7 from launch, but nonetheless, I think it's important that players know about them. So the first thing to mention is that large and huge maps will be introduced to every platform apart from Nintendo Switch. Now, if you're like me and did buy the game on Switch, I did it as a backup and just to play on the go, I bet you regret it, don't you? I mean, I do, because compared to all the other platforms, it just seems completely neglected, but they're bringing large and huge maps to every other platform, which is good, I guess. We're also getting a little bit more control over the hostility of independent powers. We all know that they really want to fight us at the start of every Civ game, but we can now turn that down a bit, which is nice. The game's getting Steam Workshop support, which is a positive, and we're now getting much needed depth and additional options to city-state bonuses, so there'll be a bit more variety there, pantheons and beliefs. All things that, in my opinion, probably should have had more depth from launch, but it's good that it's getting it now, I guess. And a couple of other things to mention on this front is that treasure fleets will now be able to move on land, which is exciting, but again, should have been there from launch. And for those of you that are dying to play Hot Seat, good news, they're actively scoping Hot Seat. I don't know exactly what that means or when we can expect it to come, but apparently they are scoping it. But that's good, like these are updates, like I said, they should have been in the game anyway, but at least we're getting them or getting news on them now. But some of the additions they've added are actually things that I think go above and beyond what the basics of Civ 7 should have been. This next update will bring custom AI difficulty, which means you can not only tweak just how hard the AI is, but you can tweak how good it is in certain areas like economy, combat and expansion. I think that's really cool, and I'm definitely interested to try that out. And there's also going to be a new resort town specialisation. This is going to give bonuses to happiness and gold on tiles with high natural appeal. I think that's a good step. I like that variety. I think there was okay variation in the town so far, so I'm going to give them credit for that. There's also some solid balance changes coming to the existing town types too. But that's all good and well, isn't it? They are the nice general updates, but the real gold in this update was Firaxis' first acknowledgement that Civ 7 has got some real fundamental problems. In their own words, Firaxis acknowledged that age transitions can feel abrupt, which is potentially an understatement, but it's good they've acknowledged it, that the game replayability needs more depth, completely agree with that, and that there's room for improving the player's sense of Empire identity and continuity throughout a multi-age campaign. In plain Yorkshire speak, that to me means that Civ switching isn't working particularly well, and neither is splitting the game up into 3 minigames. And you know what? I am delighted that they've acknowledged that. I know some players don't have a problem with it, but a big bulk of the player base definitely do. What I also like about this update is that they have taken some action. So there's a couple of small features, and it's very much just a start on this path of sorting the game out. But there's a couple of small features which I think are going to help. So there's the crisis picker. Now if you're like me, you get to the end of the age, and some of the crises, if not all of them, are really annoying. Now unfortunately this is not the ability to turn them off, but it is the ability to pick which ones are in your game. So the ones that you really don't like, you can never see again, which I think is fantastic. But the bigger action they've taken is given players the ability to turn legacy paths on or off, and I'm really interested to see how this works in practice. My gut feeling is that it's going to take a lot of tweaking to get this right. Like, isn't this a fundamental part of the game that's going to make it feel completely different? I don't know, but I think it's a good step. Even if it doesn't work perfectly right now, I think having that option is a good step, because to me, the legacy paths are one of the huge features which make the game feel like it's on rails. It's a big part of the problem of there not being enough replayability, so turning that off and hopefully therefore giving the game a bit more of a sandbox feel is definitely a step in the right direction. Now, none of this means that I have forgiven Firaxis for how Civ 7 launched, and it also doesn't mean that it's all going to turn out great in the end and we'll laugh about how rocky it was at the start. But we can say that it's a step in the right direction, and I think that it will be followed up by more steps in this direction over the coming months, which for somebody who has kind of felt a little bit isolated by how the game works and how it's a step away from that traditional experience, is reassuring and gives me hope for the future of the game. After watching this video, are you now excited to play Civ 7 again, or is it for you too little too late? I'm excited to get all your opinions down in the comments. I know not everyone's going to agree, but it'll be interesting to have a chat about it. If you're not looking forward to Civ 7, why not try out Civ 4 again, like I did in the recent video on screen now? Thank you for watching this one, and I'll catch you soon.